Well, folks, we're back in Iowa chasing big bucks. The rut's on. We got our bows in our hands. It's mid-November, and there's nowhere else I'd rather be. Stay tuned. The deer are moving. You're watching Louisiana Outdoors TV.
Louisiana Outdoors TV. Brought to you by Matthews Archery, Progressive Waste Solutions, Friendly Power Sports, and Rotolo's Pizzeria.
We're lucky enough that for our first few hunts, my buddy Dave has some stands set up in some good spots waiting for us.
But what we like to do on the first day is scout out some new spots and hang a few new stands and give them time to settle down while we hunt some other ones. And when we find a spot that looks good, we like to use stands that's comfortable enough that we can sit all day long.
Well, we just got in here, and today, driving up, it's a little too late to get in the woods, so we're gonna go hunt a stand. We're gonna hang a stand in a good spot back here that in years past, Dave and I have seen a lot of good bucks. There's a 40-acre patch of woods over here, and it funnels down to a little choke point back here behind me, and then there's a couple hundred acres over here. It's about 100 yards wide down in there, so anything that comes through there, we ought to be able to grunt them, and there's a good crossing right underneath the tree, so it's been a great stand in the past. We'll get this stand hung up in here today, hunt another farm for a couple of days, and then come back in here real fresh and put it on.
Brad thought we was going to go in there and hang this stand without something to shoot with. There's no telling what buck just might slip up on you. There's been several occasions we've been hanging a stand and bucks walk up there to see what's going on. So we better hope they don't come up today.
All right, we got the stand set. I think we got in here nice and quiet and got it set up quiet. We got a heavy duty trail coming off of this ridge where we came down, crossing right in this bottom. It's a perfect 20-yard shot. We got another trail coming off the side of this ridge over here. And then a lot of times we've seen them come around the outside of this other ridge. There's a pasture right over there on the other side. They'll skirt that pasture around but there's a heavy ravine right here, so they got to come over this way to be able to cross it nicely. So this is a really good pinch point, and we've seen some really good bucks through here, some nice ones. So give us about 2 more days and we'll be sitting right up there. Louisiana Outdoors on I-59 in Pearl River is the most comprehensive full-service archery pro shop in the Southeast, complete with an indoor range, techno-hunt video system, and an outdoor elevated shooting tower. We carry beginner and advanced lines such as Matthews, Hoyt, PSC, and Mission. We also stock all of your quality hunting needs and brands like Old Man, Millennium, Summit, Matthews Apparel, and much more.
Look for the big truck!
On I-59 in Pearl River.
Rotolo's Pizzeria and Kids Fun Zone, located in Pearl River, Louisiana, is a full-service restaurant and sports bar featuring 13 big-screen TVs, Italian cuisine, and weekly live music for Mom and Dad, all while the kids enjoy supervised play in the 3,000-square-foot Fun Zone, loaded with a rock-climbing wall, inflatables, video entertainment, and more. Bring the whole family anytime or for LSU and Saints football. Come to Pearl River for the best date night your kids ever had.
Well, we hunted the first few days. The moon wasn't helping us any, and the weather was a little on the warmer side. And to make it worse, I don't think the deer this year were using the same rut calendar that we were using.
But there's one thing about Iowa, and that's that the weather and the rut can change at the drop of a hat. All right, we're here picking up Ray and Skip. We headed out to Casey. We had our major weather change last night. It is definitely a lot colder than it was. We're gonna go out to Casey, get set up. The Iowa weather here, 34 degrees. It's gonna be raining until about 2 o'clock, they say. And then after that, the bucks is gonna be crazy. They're gonna be everywhere. So that's our plan. Get everybody loaded up, headed to Casey. Gonna whack and stack some big bucks. Well, about to go in here and make our living arrangements for the night. Check in, changed out, hit the woods. When you're hunting in the cornfield country of the Midwest, the weather is going to have to be pretty nasty to keep us out of the tree. We didn't come here to watch TV. But on this day, even I was wondering what was on TV.
As you can see, the wind hadn't stopped. They said it was supposed to quit blowing this hard, down to about 11 miles an hour. It's still around 40. We got our safety harnesses on. We hang in the air. We've seen a monster buck coming in. He wasn't on the phone. We was.
I honestly didn't think we were going to see anything in this 45-mile-an-hour wind. But since this good buck came through cruising, we knew that the rut was starting to kick in, and maybe our luck was about to change.
about halfway through the trip and waiting for my son Jake to fly in to take over the camera. The weather was looking good, so me and Jeremy decided to stay in the stand all day long. Well, we didn't have much action, but about midday, this coyote came through, putting the stalk on some turkeys. But he was moving just a little too fast for me to draw my bow on him. But when he got over there close to him, I can tell you one thing. Turkeys do not like coyotes. Jeremy's gonna be a little upset. We had a plan today where we're gonna come in here and we're gonna sit in this stand all day because the deer have been moving in the middle of the day lately. The moon chart says from 9 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon. He was gonna hunt till noon and then we were gonna switch. He was gonna get up here and film and I was gonna hunt afternoon. Well, we decided he was gonna go down and hunt the corner stand in the field where we seen these deer coming to eat, and I was gonna film myself, you know, just to give him time to hunt. He's been gone 30 minutes. I turned around and I just got back up in the stand. I look behind me. It can't be but about 1 o'clock. And here's a buck. I don't know, maybe an 8-point, maybe a little better or something. He's not a big one, but it's the last couple of days of the hunt up here in Iowa. And he's, you know, he's better than going home with nothing, so I went ahead and took him. So I got one. Now if Jeremy could just seal a deal on that monster 180 that's running around here. He's down there where he likes to come out, so come on, Jeremy, do it for us. Whew. TSO, baby. I know his tongue stuck out over there. I saw it hit him good. I couldn't believe it. It all happened so fast. Jeremy's gone, so now I'm the cameraman and the shooter, and that usually doesn't make for a good recipe. But I swung the camera against my gut, hoped he was in the frame, and let it go. I saw the blood come out of the entry, and with a shot like that, I knew that deer was down inside of 60 yards. I didn't have no doubt. I didn't have no doubt. Alrighty, Jeremy finally got over here. I went ahead and let him lay because Jeremy's hunting right over there and I walked through that thicket over there. So it got dark, Jeremy's back.
I ain't believing you. I get down out of the tree, or actually he runs me off out of the tree, and then about 45 minutes later, he texts me and says, hey, I just shot an 8-point. Simple as that.
Let's go see what we can find here.
I don't think you can shoot it from there.
That's just not blood. In here. Right back. Let's walk down this trail a little bit and see if we can get this.
No doubt, huh?
Not a very good first impression. Not a very good first impression. When I hit him, I saw a big red patch of blood right behind the shoulder. He ought to be, guess we're just not finding where he was. It was starting to feel like I was going to my surprise birthday party, but when I got there was no surprise. You can probably tell that our recovery footage is going to be somewhat challenging. So we didn't push him, we backed out, and we came back in the morning to look for him, and we didn't find him. And the cold hard truth of the matter is, if you hunt long enough, this kind of thing is going to happen. And this was a deer that we just simply could not find. And to make it even worse, we missed a hunt that morning to look for that deer, and on the drive out, deer were running everywhere.
I almost hit one with the truck.
Happy Camper Service Center is your Christian-owned and operated RV parts and service center. Interior customizing, RV appliance repair, towing accessories, enclosed trailer conversions, roof installation and maintenance are just a few things we offer. We accept extended warranties and insurance claims to get you back to camping. Can't bring it in? We'll come to you. We offer mobile units across the entire Gulf Coast. We're located at 40 Howell Road in Picayune, Mississippi.
Wouldn't you like to be a happy camper too?
When I was a kid, I was fascinated with trucks. I always wanted to be a truck driver.
What really makes Progressive Waste so special is our sensitivity to the environment.
I love keeping the community happy. It's my job.
This is what it's all about, delivering great customer service day in and day out. Keeping it safe on the streets, delivering quality service. You really know how to deliver. Thank you. Woo-hoo! Progressive Waste, yeah!
You know, there's a subject out there that not a lot of people like to talk about, and some will even deny that they ever even had it. That's right, target panic. If you're a serious archer and shoot long enough, you'll develop some type of target panic. So on this Louisiana Outdoors TSO field tip, we're going to talk about some things that can help you cure target panic. The best definition of target panic is trying to pull the trigger when you're still adjusting your aim. Now your shot sequence should be getting your aim right for about 3 seconds and then squeezing the trigger, letting the release come as a surprise. If you've had it, you know that it's all mental, and you're the only one that can control the release. So why is it so hard to break? I'll tell you why. Because you've trained yourself to shoot this way. You've practiced and allowed this to creep into your mind. Why hold any longer if the pin's on target? And that thought process gets shorter and shorter and shorter until you're pulling the trigger before the pin ever reaches the target. People have come up with many ways to break this habit, and everyone's different. Some shoot with their eyes closed, some shoot really close targets, but I'll tell you the only thing that worked for me. I bought a SCAT hydraulic release that had a time delay when you let off the trigger. All you had to do was keep your sight on the target, taking the release part out of your mind. I shot this way for a year until I retrained my brain to do it this way. And I still shoot that scat hydraulic release every once in a while to keep my brain in check. And I hope you're one of the lucky ones that never has to deal with this. But if you do, I hope this helps. So keep your grunt call in your pocket, an arrow knocked, and your bow in your hand. And I hope this Louisiana Outdoors TSO field tip helps you make one's tongue stick out. Well, Brad, I know that's disheartening, but just think, if we wouldn't have been out there in the middle of the day looking for your deer, we'd have never got this footage that I know no one has ever seen before. I tell you, Louisiana Outdoors has done it again. We have got footage to show you guys how these deer weighing 200, 250 pounds can just sneak right past you and you never even hear them. Check this footage out. I just emphasize, bring you a camera in the woods. You never know what you might see. Crazy footage. These deer know how to have a good time. Check this out. I don't know about you, but I think that deer had some soul up in him. Crazy footage.
Well, I appreciate you trying to cheer me up, but that's the only deer that happened to come close enough to me that was worth shooting, and it was not supposed to end like that. Turned out my Iowa tag got as much use as all the shoes in my wife's closet. We've all heard the old saying that practice doesn't make perfect, perfect practice makes perfect. And for a bow hunter in this Louisiana Outdoors TSO field tip, we're going to take a look at some techniques that can help make your practice pay off when you need a big buck to stick his tongue out. As a bow shop owner, I see people occasionally mention they only need to get their bow out a couple weeks in advance and make sure their pins are still sighted in. And what I've learned over the years is that it's much more than that. It's doing it over and over until you don't have to think about it. You just know it's right by the way it feels. It all begins with form in areas like anchor point, bow arm position, sight picture, trigger control, and follow through. And whereas you have to concentrate on developing these techniques in practice, in time, they'll become automatic. You're going to have plenty enough other stuff to worry about when your heart's beating when that big buck steps out. Practice is performing those steps over and over until you develop a positive habit and can feel when things are right. It becomes ingrained and comfortable, and it happens automatically. But what is perfect practice? Perfect practice is in one and only one well-shot arrow. It's shooting that arrow like it's the only one you have. And it's in total concentration on all your techniques, because through that, you'll develop good habits rather than bad. 12 good shots will beat 30 arrows just for the sake of shooting them any day. And once you're feeling pretty good about your target shooting in the yard, are you ready to hunt? I'd say no, you're just a good shot. To be ready to bow hunt, you have to practice in the situations that you expect to hunt. If you shoot a broadhead and hunt from a tree, then you need to practice with a broadhead from a tree. If you hunt in the cold with thick gloves, a face mask, and a jacket, then that's how you need to practice. The mistakes you make there will be the lessons that pay off in the heat of the hunt. So if you're going to hunt with a broadhead from a tree in the evening with a jacket, a face mask, some gloves, a sight light, or sitting down, then by all means, practice, perfect practice for bow hunting. I'd like to say I base these recommendations on my 27 years of bow hunting experience, but in reality, it's just a whole bunch of mistakes I've made. So keep the wind in your face, the sun in your back, and your bow in your hand. And I hope this Louisiana Outdoors TSO field tip helps you make one's tongue stick out.
That's okay, I'm kind of with you. But you need to see this next hunt. I had one that was halfway worth shooting, and he wasn't wanting to play nice either. And by halfway, well, you're just gonna have to see it. You know, that's crazy. I seen that deer come in earlier and they bedded down over here by the tree, about 50 yards from me. Well, I didn't see the buck. I seen the doe bed down. So I'm like, that's cool. I got a doe hanging out here. Earlier this morning, I heard a deer down in the branch just a grunt, and I mean deep grunt, just bruh, bruh, bruh. And I was just sitting here, and all of a sudden I hear the same grunt, just a deep grunt, just bruh, bruh, and I hear him coming up the hill right here. Well, what it was is him and the doe had bedded down right there together. I didn't even know it. So they jumped up and they run over here, and I seen him, and I'm like, oh yeah. Then I seen he only had one side. I'm like, I don't want to shoot him. I mean, we only have 2 more days left, yeah, and he would have been a big mature deer, but I guess cosmetic purposes, I just didn't want a one-sided rack. Call me picky if you want. So he stood there, and then he jumps up and he gets broadsided 2 or 3 times. And I said, you know what? If he's gonna stand there, broadsided at 30 yards, wide open for that long, I'm gonna put the camera on him and I'm gonna shoot him. So I swung the camera around, and as you see, he just stands there broadsided, just perfectly. I turned the camera off, he stood there so long. Well then, I said I'm gonna shoot him. And when I decided to shoot him and I got the camera back on him, I drew back, put the pin on him, and he had been standing there for 5 minutes, just not moving in the wide open. And then he turns, put his butt toward me. I said, that's my luck. So I let down. I said, I'm not shooting him. Well, he walks up a little bit, stops, broadside again, wide open. So I hit the record button on the camera again, draw back, and I was shooting straight down beside the camera. I mean, you would have seen the arrow from start to finish. He steps forward behind a tree. I can't win for losing. Not only did he not let me shoot him, he burped at me.
Louisiana Outdoors on I-59 and Pearl River is the most comprehensive full-service archery pro shop in the Southeast, complete with an indoor range, techno-hunt video system, and an outdoor elevated shooting tower. We carry beginner and advanced lines such as Matthews, Hoyt, PSC, and Mission. We also stock all of your quality hunting needs and brands like Old Man, Millennium, Summit, Matthews Apparel, and much more.
Look for the big truck
on I-59 and Pearl River.